Good morning, everybody, and my name is Marc Prat. I'm speaking from Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, and first of all, I would like to say hello to all colleagues of Barcelona, of Sicindustria and the Lithuanian colleagues. That are the three organizations that develop the BNet project. BNet project is a new tool to cooperate between small, medium, and familiar enterprises in order to develop cooperation with them. And it's a new way to cooperate, an easy way to cooperate, and the aim is to aggregate or establish forms or free forms to collaborations, in theory between a minimum of 4 enterprises, but I encourage to develop this project to even to 8, maximum to 8 companies. It's really important that every company that can participate, that register in the web form. The web form would be at the end will be every contact with to develop to encourage the registration, and after that we will start the registrations on 22 of July until 1st of November. I think you have a lot of time to introduce the profiles of comparisons of different companies and making easy what they are looking for. And after that, I would like to do the presentation of our speaker of that this first webinar, and I say the word to Lorenzo. Lorenzo, could you start with the first webinar? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm Lorenzo Sciadini from Florence. I'm in the hills of Florence, not in my office and not in the university, because I haven't trained in a while. So I decided to do it from here. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this project. Because many things are changing, and I think that this is the right moment for entrepreneur and for this kind of project to be to give results. And can I show my presentation now? Okay,
yes.
Great. Is it working? Okay, good. So I am a marketing consultant, and I am a teacher. So I both work in every day in field with companies, and but I even study and research solutions. So today we are gonna stop for a while. We're gonna take 1 hour of our time for these not really new, because design thinking is not new at all, but probably this is the moment, this is the right moment in which we could implement it, because things are becoming complex. This design thinking start almost 20 years ago and as theory, when things start becoming complex. Now the complexity is at the edge, and so now it's time for everybody, not just for people in Stanford and big corporation to use it, but it's time for everybody to start changing the way we think about problems and solution. So now I'm sure that the most of you, the most of the present, the most of the entrepreneur is here for the same question, because you know, all entrepreneurs have the same question. Every time I start consulting, they always start with the same question. The question is how and where to find more clients. since my product is the best, since what I do is correct, and my company is the greatest, how and where to find more clients? This is the issue. And in the past, I find client abroad, going global and or going over boundaries was okay, challenging, but not impossible. And we had 4 stages. The first stage was probably the most important and the most misplaced. And the first stage was about the decision whether to internationalize. I mean, stay or go. You know, should I stay or should I go? And the second stage was deciding in which market to enter. We were used to use a model called screening process. The almost 2/3 of this screening process was desk activity, and then after selecting once or as many as we could a country, we should decide in which how to enter in that market, and designing, and then just designing and implementing the global marketing program. This works for probably the last 50 years, and over the wave of globalization, everything seems to be, let me tell you, easy. I'm not telling easy, but affordable, you know. But today we know that things are not so easy. I don't know if the participants have tried to export in China or in Far East, and with which result. The point is changing the way we think about value in business, and just fixing this issue, we could go back to how to find more and sometimes better clients. So let's try to use this webinar, these few minutes of the webinar, to have some answers, because people are here for having answers, but even to change some of our questions. You know, I am a professional ICF coach, and during my coaching activity, I challenge people not just on searching for answer, but on finding the right questions. And let's see, like 5 minutes, let's see how and what is going on around our businesses. So I probably know, I'm not a futurist. I know a few things about my future and your future, but I can bet, and I'm ready to bet, and I'm ready to say that in the future you will make networks, and in the future a project like BNet will be like you know, everyday project and normal project, no activities without being in business networks. And about the future is that in the future we will cooperate. It will be impossible to most of the challenges of the future are affordable just in cooperation. And the businesses of the future will be shaped by at least 3 big I don't know, in Italy we use train, but sometimes even rockets, I think is better. So things that move you forward from one stage to another stage. The first train, and pay attention, because the next rockets or the next trains will pass probably in the next 50 years or the next 40 or 30 years. So now it's important for entrepreneurs to fix problems with the semester, fix the problems with the here, but it's important to catch those trains. The first train is the train of circular economy, so it's about value creation and sustainability. The second important train or rocket is about Industry 4.0. And Industry 4.0, I don't know in your country, but in my country, many people believe that it's just about buying computer, and it's not about computer, it's digital and better working condition. And the last important train is the train or the rocket of new capitalism, where there are more business benefit for everybody. And I will stay all the webinar on those topics, in particular the first one and the second one. But this is not the the topic of this webinar. This is just to understand which could be the next challenges for entrepreneur. And I want to talk. I want to stop just on the mindset that we will need for manage those challenges. Curiosity, complexity. I don't know again in your country how it works, but in my country it's very popular to like in soccer think in terms of black and white, yes and good, climate yes, climate change no, or globalization yes, globalization no, and the future will be not the future now is the time for complexity, not for easy solutions. So please stop buying marketing books about the 10 rule to sell, or the 10 secret to sell abroad, because in the complexity you cannot follow 10 rules. And then the focus on people, the focus on co-creation with employees, co-creation with the business partner, and even co-creation with the competitors. And then the concept of scaling. I don't know, but I believe that most of you are small and medium. The problem of small and medium is not being small, it's thinking small. And any business, even small businesses, must be scalable to big businesses. And this is the problem of small companies, thinking small, not being small. And then collaboration, network collaboration, and then doing, not thinking, not planning, not sitting, but doing and doing again till the things are not working. And then the point is your company owning and do your management, or do you have those competencies? If you have those competencies, probably the webinar is at the end for you. You can stop here, and good luck. But if you don't have those competencies, the tool, the methodology and the philosophy we are gonna present probably is important for you. In the last probably 50 years, in the last 40 years, we put a lot of energies in problem solving, a lot of problem solving methodologies. Lean thinking or agile methodology are great for doing the thing right. A lot of managers focusing on doing the thing right, not that much on doing the right things. So design thinking is strategic thinking, because it goes not fixing the problem, but finding the real problem, and that's why it's called design as an architect or as a designer do. Designer, when they design a chair or when they design a table, they go back to think which is the main use of this, which is not how can I curl the wood, but which is the original use or the original aim of these things. And in the past, the focus on was deciding whether to internationalize, which market to enter, which entry strategies. But today, the focus cannot be this one. With this focus, we're going to lose a lot of time and a lot of money, as probably some of you or some of us did it. The problem today is which problems I'm going to fix, where and how. Who is the person with whom I will exchange value, and how can we get in contact with this person? How to help this person to live and sleep better. And this is the first issue. And the second issue is about, do you think that it's wise going global alone? I was in the World Circular Economy Forum in Helsinki, and IKEA is going totally circular in just 10 years. the same Nike and the most big corporation of the world. They are going circular, and going circular is more than going global. And so, do you think we can do it alone? This is just crazy, and crazy is even the idea, because cooperation. I probably know that you have experienced the difficulties to cooperate in your house, with your wife, with your husband, with your children, and with your family. So imagine how hard it is to cooperate with someone else, with different culture, with different perspective, with different background. But this is what we have to do. So there is no choice. We need to learn, and we need a way to cooperate and work in network. So design thinking is a way, is a complete new way that change the way we tackle the problems. It's let me tell you, I think it's a kind of philosophy, it's a kind of ideology, and for people using it, sometimes it's just a process. But for people like me working with it, it's more a way of thinking, and it's about fixing, it's about solving complex problem, thinking about people. So we call it user-centric way. And let me tell you, this is fantastic for business network. I cannot see other way to cooperate in business network. So, but we have some problems. We have some problems to figure out. The first problem, it's I think you have experience, or you are experiencing every day. It's about how can you find client. The problem of finding client is that there are no clients anymore. So you should even change your way you think in terms of client, users, or someone call them customer. I manage some candidates for the recent election in Italy, and till 5, 6, 10 years ago, we used to make marketing research. Now, marketing research, what do you think? It's easy to study people, and so this is the new idea. I advise you to read the book. This book is "We Are All Weird." The author is Seth Godin. I don't want to stay too much with this topic, but this is the point. There is a new era of people that pretend or they are different, And so with this idea, stop thinking in terms of male, female, age 65, stop even thinking in terms of Chinese or Koreans, because you will find no more Chinese or no more Korean in terms of segmentation. And the weird, the strange, what for my granny and for my father could be considered weird and strange, are the new normal. And so your business need to manage this. The second big problem is the problem of how can we find partners, finding partner in business is so difficult, and finding partner abroad is even more challenging. Design thinking is a way to leave us the individuality, to leave us the freedom, but it forces us to cooperate. This is the greatness of design thinking. It forces us to cooperate in the individuality. And the last problem is how can you develop, how can you grow, how can you find ideas? Because we need ideas. There is a market, the marketing of the finance, every day paying for others' ideas, and we need ideas. We need to invest in generation of ideas, and generation of ideas is not when I'm in trouble I stop and think how to do it. It's a process. It's a way of living, and the way of thinking. And design thinking is perfect in business network because it's a mix of business thinking. Business thinking is a logic thinking. Let me tell you. Let me be honest. Creativity, 80%, 90% is left brain activity. In creativity, there are a lot of stages that are logic. And so to grow up a business, we need a logic and business thinking. But we also need the creative thinking, typical of our, in metaphor, of our right brain. So in that design thinking, there is a strong interaction, continuous interaction between analysis and creation. So design thinking fix many of the soft problems that we unfortunately know of enterprise networks. You can have great contracts, agreements. You can you can have the best product, but there are a lot of soft problems that I manage the communication and the marketing to some Italian business networks, and the most of the problem is my perspective, sure. The lawyer would probably have another perspective, but my perspective is that soft problems, soft skills problems are the strongest to manage it. Like in the problem in interaction, managing people power, a problem in communication, in listening, working together. It's a sport contact, and as for any sport, you need to learn how to do it. So design thinking forces people to work alone but in groups. Oh, this is fantastic! Working alone in group, and I think this is super for enterprise business networks. So let's start going at the core of this presentation. Let's start looking at how the design thinking works. Design thinking is popular for his put the user first. So design, this is probably the first activity, the first canvas, the first tool. Even if you're not forced to use this tool, you can use as many tools you wanna. If you just search on the internet, Olsen personas canvas, you're going to find a lot of tools to develop this technique. But this is kind of a representative way to do it. You can do it with your business partner. You can do it with your internal department. You can do it with your stakeholder. It's about creating a kind of a fictional character that represent your type of customer. Just because the normality does not exist anymore, you need to find out the typology of different characterization of the customer. And this fictional idea, this fictional character is created based on the synthesis of what you learn about this. So that's why if you wanna export in China or in Pakistan, you should better go there and study people, live with people. And 50, 60, 40 years ago, when the international marketing or the global marketing literature was first published, going abroad was difficult. But my last mission with the entrepreneur, we went in China for 2 days, and then we studied the distribution chain, and then we came back. Everything in 3 days, flying during the night. Oh my God, what's happened? And so the first activity, it's a research-based activity, and is about defining people's needs, people's behaviors, people's experiences, people's goals, their fears, and it's important to give to name people, to name Mr. Smith or Mr. Paula or the name, it's the name and the face. You can find on the internet a lot of software, about designing, drawing personas. They let you draw it physically. So there are 4 steps you can use for creating the personas canvas. The first is about studying them, living with them, observing them. You know, like with the monkeys or with animals. And you need to observe them. You need to interview them. After this, you just you can use the personas canvas you can see on the presentation, or you just create 1, 2, 3 pages of description. 1, 2, 3 pages depend on the challenge. You know, biggest in the challenge, more detail should be the description, details about user education, lifestyles, interests, values. Values means what is important for them, their goals, their needs, and etc. And finally, what they do. So it must be a realistic representation of the stereotype of the persona. Then you need to test the persona. You need to figure out if it works, and then do it again till the personas is in focus. This is the first activity. The second one is called empathy map. In a while, I will show you the stages of the design thinking, and the first stage is empathize. You know, empathize means wearing the shoes of your client, wearing the shoes of people. This canvas, the canvas you can see in the presentation, it's very simple. I advise you to use this one. Is public. You can find on the internet. It's open. I mean, it forces people, it forces group of people to capture the knowledge about the user, and it's an exercise. It's a group. It's a team exercise. You can do in your company. You can do by Skype. You can do sticking that canvas on the wall or on the desktop or your computer, and it's a way to understand the true problem. So this is design thinking, understanding the true problem. As an architect or as a designer, want to understand the true problem of someone before drawing chair or lamps. That's why it's called design thinking. So design thinking is about focusing on people, focusing on user, is about direct observation, not to just working in desk, you know, the export manager, the production manager in some refreshed room thinking about how beautiful it would be export in China, but it's about direct observation. It's about find new options and another revolution, another main idea of design thinking is about testing and prototype. The point is mistake, the quickest you mistake and the cheapest it is, you know. So it's about mistake and learn, and then mistake and then learn till you got the challenge one. So design thinking is about collaboration. It's about collaboration, and the people from different countries, people from different roles, perspective, are forced to collaborate. This is the fantastic paradigm of the design thinking. This is the process. You can find this process everywhere. It's a standard, but I advise you to go back to the Stanford original one. It's about 5 stages. Here you can find 6 stages, and the first stage is called empathize. This is the revolution of the design thinking. It's about gaining this strong empathic understanding of the problem, not looking at your warehouse, looking at your production and thinking how would be nice those products to be in someone house, you know, but understanding, deeply understanding the problems or the advantage people wanna have. The second stage is defining the core problem in a human-centered manner. So, which is the real problem? I'm gonna fix it. And if I cannot find the problem, I'd better go back to empathize. The good news about design thinking is that it doesn't have a linear nature. It's about jumping from one stage to another. And in the image, you can see those, the possibility to jump to the ideation, to redefining, on to prototyping, to empathize again. If the prototype is not working, why should I put in production? I should better go to understand to gain again the empathic understanding of the problem. So for each of those stages, you can find tons. You can find a lot of templates, a lot of tools. I'm gonna 2 days ago in class with my students, I said that the only one is making money with this is Post-it, you know, the 3M company making the yellow and colored piece of paper, because design thinking is about sticking thousand of colored Post-it and then changing again, and then focusing, and then generating, and then repeating again. So the fourth stage is prototyping. Prototyping means you can prototype with Post-it, you can prototype with Legos, you can prototype with I don't know, with the piece of wood. You can prototype like babies do it, you know. Learn from babies how they prototype when they play the life of the adult. Prototype is investigate the problem solution generated in the previous stage. And if the prototype is not working, we go back, we reiterate the previous stage. Then if the prototype has a chance to work, and if the business is can be sustainable, we can go to test it. We can probably better test it locally, but better, why not go and test in UK, test in Brazil, test it in China, test it where you believe, you think the personas you have studied live, and just at the end you pass everything in the production. So this is the more or less the stages, the 5+1 stage of the design thinking. I wanna give you something very practical, you know, something that you can use since today. This is a design thinking methodology. It's called How Might We, and this is a small exercise. It's probably better than all this presentation to understand how practical and how empathic is design thinking. Usually, when we collaborate in business networks, in enterprise network, we work on the case to find clients abroad, as you can see on the left of the presentation. Then the marketing probably, or if you go in deep with this problem, you can think that, okay, we should get in contact with client. And then the marketing would probably advise you that client is not the right word, better use the word the marketing qualified lead, because investing money or efforts in client is not so good as doing it in marketing qualified lead. Marketing qualified lead are people with a need, with a budget, with a role. So it's not just a generic someone, it's someone ready to start an opportunity, so ready to start the sales. And probably you are going soft because this guy or this lady is far from your headquarters, And so the business network is working on finding more clients abroad, while according to what we have learned in this small webinar, we should better start empathizing with the user. Who is my user? Who is my user? Where she or he came from? Which is the everyday life of my user? This is the how might we technique. It's a short question or a series of short questions trying to starting from the empathization with a potential consumer, and trying to be broad enough that solution, but our team has some boundaries. I mean, you cannot lose days and days to fix
Lorenzo, you can hear you.
And impossible problems.
Lorenzo, sorry, can you please repeat the last the previous slides, because it was we could not hear you.
Is big, but not the biggest. She loved to travel. She has been twice in Europe, one in Italy for a summer school in management or design, I don't know what, and another she has been in Spain for leisure, probably when she was in Italy or after or before, I don't know. She wants to pleasure her guest. Now she's not the number anymore. She wanna show that she's international, and she want to pleasure some guests with Italian and Spanish food, but she don't know, how to cook, and she don't know how and where to buy. It's as if I wanna cook tomorrow Chinese at my place, and so she don't wanna bad quality food. She don't wanna have fake product and blah blah blah. This is the idea of empathization. This is perfect for the two tools I showed you before, the empathy map and the personas canvas. After doing it, you can pass to the real how might we. How might we, through a series of questions. For example, how might we have knowledge of Europe? How might we keep her away from fake product? How might we let her guests pleasure her? How might we blah blah blah? There are a long series of how might we, and the idea of the how might we technique. And after you have tried it, you cannot stop doing it, because it gave every time a lot of satisfaction. It's beginning with your point of view or with the problem statement, and break the larger challenge up into a smaller actionable pieces. And in the actionable pieces, there are the solution for your challenges. This is more or less how we can use design thinking in business network. If you have a question, I'm for sure here for you. You can download this presentation using that QR, and if you want, I can send you Canvas, I can send you literature, and everything you need to apply since tomorrow this beautiful methodology.
Thank you, Lorenzo, very much for your presentation, your clear ideas, and especially one more important thing is the way in how companies can find clients. That is one of the most important things or problems that companies must resolve. Any questions of the other assistants? There is no any question. We are going to conclude the seminar. Giada?
Thanks, Lorenzo. and thanks, Mark. As you can all see, this way of building up a strategy for your business can be really disruptive and can really support your business also in terms of a way of collaborating in different terms. So we invite you to follow us for the next webinars. The next one will be on the 8th of July. It will be about how to draw a plan for internationalization and how a business contract works. It will be organized again with our key stakeholders from RetImpresa who collaborate with us in the BNet project. I remind you all that you can register in the project platform, and you can find all the information in the project platform, and you will find also the webinar, the podcast of this webinar in the platform. I remind you the address. It's b-net.b2much.io. Raza, maybe you can show it while we are discussing. So it's going to be a great opportunity to use the design thinking method and collaborate together in order to build up European business networks. Are there any other interventions? If not,
any more?
Yes.
If not, no. If there is any other intervention, I will encourage, obviously, all companies, all participants, all organizations to register companies, and obviously we'll encourage to do more collaboration, because BNet is an excellent way to cooperate between small and medium European companies and to build a network and an effective network to collaborate with them. I encourage all participants to participate, and we hope to see all of you and more people, obviously, next 8 July, next seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and have a great weekend. Bye.